Sweet. All right. Combat side stroke.
Combat side stroke.
You know what combat side stroke is? Okay.
Yeah.
Is combat side stroke a viable stroke for short distance or not? I don't know.
Yeah.
Josh Bridges used to combat side stroke in the games, and I think that's where the rest of the question.
Yeah. I mean, in the world of swimming, we have freestyle, which means anything. So yeah, you could use that for any freestyle events. I think in the world of like CrossFit, where you've got some short distances with some exercise on pool deck, whether it's muscle ups, like it was in the games a few years ago, if that allows you to breathe a bit more and you're not lifting the arms up over your head, so you're letting your arms rest, it might be a good kind of recovery strategy. You're still moving from A to B, jump out, do your muscle ups and get going again. Again, it has to be something you're efficient at, but if you can do freestyle, it's always going to be faster than combat side stroke. Again, maybe in the games, if it's an open water swim going around a buoy, good chance to just kind of make sure you're staying tight to the buoy, getting a few breaths, watching where the other competitors are. Might be a good way to use it there, but again, not a number one strategy to use for speed and swimming.
Sure. Okay. Good answer. Great. Will a Speedo make you swim faster?
The Speedo is always the way to go.
What's the name for a Speedo in Scotland? They had a name for it in Australia. It was like Crumb Bungee or something like that. I don't even know what it was. But is there a name for a Speedo in Scotland?
We call them trunks.
Trunks? Okay.
Trunks, yeah. Yeah, it's going to make you swim faster. I see a lot of people use like board short type thing when they jump in the pool. Main issue with that, it creates a lot more drag. It's going to pull your hips under, reduce or increase your body drag in the water, makes you slower. If you give board shorts to a college elite level athlete, they're going to find it so much harder, and they're going to like, this sucks. And so you get a swimmer who's not that confident in the water going with board shorts. That's a big reason why they find swimming so much harder. Get a tight swim jammer, kind of like tight shorts, like
That's what I wore today.
Yeah, or a Speedo. Speedo's not for everybody. I mean, Sam Dancer loves his Speedo, but a lot of other people don't like it. But I would recommend a kind of tight jammer, reduces the resistance, allows you to keep your hips higher, makes swimming a lot easier, and then it can also be used in other ways as far as like jumping out onto a bike and stuff like that, going for a run straight after instead of having to make a change,
sure,
whatever. But
so will it make my swimming faster if I wear a Speedo?
Because you got the tight jammer, I don't think there will be much difference.
So I'm going to tell my wife that my swimming is only sucky because Jordan told me I need a Speedo.
Yeah.
We almost bought one in Australia, but I thought it wouldn't be a good time to get one. All right. For someone who just can't keep their head in the water when doing freestyle, what is something that you teach them? What is something you do?
Kind of like what we've done to start with today, I would work on floating and just confidence in the water. The biggest thing in the world of swimming is the head position, and for non-swimmers, they want to keep their head up because they're worried that if they put their head in the water, you won't be able to breathe, drowning, all that kind of stuff. So it's just spending time where you're facing the water, stand in the shallow end, just put your face in the water, blow bubbles, lift your head up and take a breath and just repeat. Then do it with a pool buoy in between your legs, just keeping yourself floating on the surface, facing the water, take head out the water, take a breath, and just repeat, rinse and repeat. And the more you do that, the more comfortable you're going to be with your face in the water. And that's the biggest thing for non-swimmers, is being comfortable in a strange environment. So that's what I would do to start with. And then when you're working on your drills and you're swimming, always force yourself, face in the water. Even if you put your face in the water, do a few strokes and literally stop, do a couple of breaststroke strokes and go back to it. Always force yourself to get that face in the water, and then you can build up the breathing from there.
Okay, good. Best breathing tips for ocean swimming, or that's ocean or open water.
Yeah,
I guess you can discuss both.
We talked about this a little bit earlier. I think you have to vary between your sighting, where you're going to lift your head up to look around in open water swimming, and then also just regular pool swimming. Your head's down, you're in a flat position. It's the most efficient way to swim, and even when you're doing open water in the ocean or in the lake, that's what you should do. But you've got to make sure you're going in the right direction. So every 6 to 8 strokes you're going to lift your head up to the front and try to fit that within your stroke cycle. The way you would turn your head to breathe in the pool, and within a stroke cycle, you're going to lift your head to the front and put it back down. So lift it on one arm, put it back down on the other arm, and fit it into your stroke cycle that way, and just give you a chance to sight Don't look for the buoy. What I tend to tell my guys is look to a big tree, big building in the distance, some kind of big landmark that you can have like a quick split-second look at. You're looking for that building rather than trying to find a little orange buoy somewhere. You might have to do a few doggy paddle strokes. It's a lot faster. You get head back down to neutral position and you get back into that efficient swimming. As far as like looking at competitors, people tend to look to one side, dominant side for the breathing. Throw in a breath to the other side every now and again just to kind of see where they are and make sure you're not running into them. Maybe you can draft off them a little bit easier just by making sure you know exactly where they're at. And also in open water, if you've got a competent swimmer in front of you and you know they're going to be good at sighting, just watch their feet. You can feel the bubbles, you can feel their feet.
That's a good example because I did that in Australia. I found a guy in a Speedo because I figured if he wore a Speedo, he knows what he's doing. And I was like, I'm going to let this cat sight. I'm not even going to look out of the water.
And you just feel the bubbles the whole time and it's easy,
Or just grab his feet.
or that, yeah.
All right. Okay, this might be a repeat question, but we can easily cut it out if you don't want to answer it. Ask him about breathing, the technique for your pull, and how much you need to push or throttle back on your kick. So I think your kick relating to your pull and your breathing.
Yeah. I think as far as breathing, and we talked about this earlier as well when we're in the pool, as soon as say you're going to breathe to the right side, as soon as that right arm starts to pull underwater, you want to start to initiate your turn of the head and shoulders to take that breath. Biggest fault that happens is people will take the pull and then they'll turn their head to breathe. At that point, they're breathing late. In the world of swimming, it's called breathing late, and everything goes out of sync. The tempo slows down, body position is out of whack, and then we have to fight to get that back. So as soon as you start to pull, you start to turn, take that breath, head should be back down before this arm gets back to your head for the recovery part of the stroke. So as far as breathing, that's the focus. You asked about throttling back on the leg kick.
Yeah.
For the world of CrossFit, when you're swimming a little bit longer distances, 500 yards and so on, efficiency is key. Really, you just want the kick to balance your stroke. So it's a kind of softer kick, keeping your hips nice and high in the water. You've got to kick the legs, but it's a kick or so every arm stroke. It's not max tempo. If you're in the water, you're going to 50 all out. Maybe that comes up at the games in a few months. Everything you got from the legs. If it's a short sprint and that's all you're doing, go for it. But as far as kind of more endurance type swimming, triathlons and CrossFit and so on, just a light kick, literally just to keep your hips and legs on the surface. That's all you're trying to do. You're not really trying to get much propulsion from them.
Oh, cool. Okay. What is a good starter swimming workout, and how often would you recommend to do it until progressing forward? Maybe not a workout, maybe like drills or mindset or whatever.
I guess like for starters and stuff, I would always go 25s. You don't have to worry about flip turn or anything like that. You're doing your 25s, and then we just manipulate the interval. So you might go 20-25s on the minute interval. That's feeling pretty good. We're going to bring the interval down to 50 seconds. Then a couple weeks later, down to 40 seconds, down to 30 seconds. If you're getting pretty advanced, maybe get some on 20. But you're going to be a real good swimmer by that point. But that's an easy way to manipulate a pretty simple workout of kind of like interval training. And I'd maybe put that together with what's the maximum distance you can swim in a one shot. Maybe week one, that's a 75 yards, and then you go in to do your 25 repeats. And you just try and build up the endurance from those 25s, put it into a longer swim, maybe 150 at this point, 200 yards. And so you can see the crossover from doing shorter repeats into a longer swim. I think is the best thing to do. In warm-ups and swim downs, I would always encourage athletes to do drills. Swimming, like you would do Olympic lifting, you're going to break the movement down into smaller sections and do drills to make the whole movement more efficient. It should be the same in swimming. If you just jump in and swim freestyle up and down all day, you can think about things, but you can't just focus 100% on one detail. So if you get rid of the arms, just do some kick, focus on what your legs are doing. Put the pull buoy in, take the legs out, focus on what your arms are doing, do some single arm drills, put the paddles on, different things to just focus on individual areas, and then you put it all back together into a full stroke, and still kind of think about what you're doing in each area, but put it all together again like you would do Olympic rhythm.
That's good stuff. That's a good comparison, especially for CrossFitters too. That's all we do is we jump into pools and start swimming.
Yeah.
All right, recommendations on goggles. Discuss. Like, what do you think? Like, what's a good recommendation for a good goggle to use? Whether it's open water or pool, maybe there's a difference. I don't know.
Yeah.
The Mickey Mouse ones, the pink Mickey Mouse ones.
Really, it's a goggle that's comfortable for you. There's a wide range of goggles out there. You get some at Walmart for $5. I wouldn't recommend them. They're going to break.
I'm gonna toss mine out then.
They're going to break. They're going to be uncomfortable. You can spend $60-$70 on some crazy goggles that are going to make you swim 20 seconds faster and all this kind of stuff. It's not going to make a difference. It's somewhere in the middle. I used a thing called a Speedo speed socket. Not sponsored by them at all, but it's
Shout out.
It's a pretty versatile goggle, comfortable on the eyes, anti-fog, so they're not going to steam up and stuff like that when you're swimming. Pretty versatile.
Is there a difference between open water goggles and a pool goggles? Like, is there a huge difference? I know sometimes the open water kind of like UV rays or whatever.
Yeah. In the world of swimming and open water swimming, no. Swimmers are going to use swimming specific goggles that you'd use to race in the pool when we go out into the open water. Typically they'll get the mirrored ones that are going to have some UV protection and stop some of the glare from the sun. But the speed socket type goggle, you've got a clear one, you've got a blue lens, you've got a mirrored one, and a lot of goggles have that same thing. The open water ones tend to be more for your triathletes and stuff. They're bigger and kind of like between a goggle and a snorkeling mask. I don't recommend them. I just think they're a bit bigger and bulkier, and it's just a kind of ploy to try and get money out of triathletes, where you can go and buy like a regular race swim goggle. But
Sure.
you can find them on any kind of swim website and stuff like that. There's going to be a wide range. You just try a couple out that are comfortable and feel good for you, but you don't need to spend $60 on a set of goggles. $15 to $20, you're going to get a really good set, and it'll last you a while.
Okay, cool. Best resource for learning swimming technique? Maybe like an internet site or like something you might have used. Probably other than a coach. Your probably first response is find me, find a coach.
Yeah. Best resource is, social media. I use Instagram a lot. I put out content from my college team. Okay. At Carson Newman CN Swim, shout out for them.
Oh, there you go. I'll put it down below.
Or follow my account. I'm filming guys in the pool and giving them some feedback. I'll put it on Instagram and stuff like that. A lot of coaches do that. Check out pretty much any college team in the country. They will have an Instagram account that they'll put videos on drills and different things that they're doing around their program. So you can pick up some good things there. There's also a number of different swim accounts. I can't remember them all off the top of my head. Okay. That throw in some videos from all over the world of different athletes doing some different drills or doing some crazy sets. And the swimming community is pretty good at sharing, getting some ideas from different people. That's probably the easiest thing to do. Check some videos out, see what they're doing, give it a shot. And I also think that for swimmers learning, go into YouTube and type in like, hey, 100 freestyle at the Olympics or 500 freestyle at the Olympics or whatever, and just watch what they're doing, and then go to the pool and in your head think about that, what you've seen the best athletes doing, and see if you can imitate it. Copying is kind of the best way to get good at it, and get someone to video you. You might think you're looking like Michael Phelps, feeling great. You see a video, turns out you're not, but you can then make the connection between what you're doing and what they're doing, and then start to go from there. And I tell my athletes all the time, you're your own best coach. You can think about every stroke that you take, more than I can give someone feedback. I can give someone feedback every 25 yards, but not every stroke. And so think about what you're doing, get some drills that are relevant to you. If you can get a chance to connect with a coach, they'll give you some drills that are specific to you and your flaws and your technique. And then the drills, if they're done well, will coach you themselves with that coach. Some of the stuff we've done today, Jacob can do on his own, and he'll know if he's doing it right or wrong just purely because of
if I sink or not.
Without having a coach there all the time when you're in the water.
Cool. All right. What's the right amount of volume? Last two questions. What's the right amount of volume for a base building phase, and how ideal should blocks be for competition?
It's going to vary based on, are you looking at a
So swimming or
college athlete.
CrossFitting, yeah.
An elite level athlete versus a kind of summer league type athlete in the world of swimming, or a CrossFitter versus a regular swimmer. For me, frequency is the key in swimming. Walking around on land, everything we do is similar to lunges and to squats and to step ups and getting up out of chairs, similar to a squat and stuff. And we're using our legs, and so land-based activities link well to human life. Being immersed in a liquid, horizontal, the only time we're really horizontal is when we're in bed, and that doesn't help you swim. So when we jump in the water, we have to acclimate ourselves to that environment, and the more you do that, the better. So you can jump in the water and go like 1 3-hour workout. Yeah, I killed it today. I went 10,000 yards. Awesome. You do that once a week. You've only acclimated yourself to the pool once. Whereas I would much rather go 6 30-minute sessions.
Really?
One a day.
Really?
Yeah. Because you have to acclimate yourself to that environment 6 different times. So as you're getting in and warming up, you're going through some drills, you're getting yourself aware of being in the water, being horizontal again. Doesn't have to kill yourself. You're not trying to go a ton of yards. You might get 1,000 meters, mile in that 30 minutes. But you do that every day for 30 minutes will make a bigger difference than doing 1 3-hour session. And so our college team will typically go an hour and a half workouts, where some teams will go 2 hours, 3 hours, but we'll just try and do that kind of twice a day all the way through the week, with the Saturday afternoon and Sunday off. And the frequency of them getting in and out of the water, acclimating themselves to the water, makes a big difference. And so that's one of the things I'd encourage triathletes and CrossFitters and stuff like that to do, is try to get in a little bit more, but don't be in for a long time. Just jump in 30 minutes, quick workout, and you're off to the gym. It'll make a big difference. As far as volume, the same way as you would do with CrossFit, with running and cycling, stuff like that, triathlon. When you're doing your base phase at the start of the season, a lot more technique focused, and then into a lot more aerobic capacity work, bigger yardage, bigger sets, 800 repeats, 500 repeats for your college kind of level athletes. And then as we go through the season, the distance will drop and the intensity will be increased, hitting race speed and above. And I think the same for CrossFitters. If you know roughly on the 500-yard swim, it's going to take me about 5 minutes. It's about a minute per 100. I want to do some repeats. I might go 10, 100 repeats at that speed. So when I connect it all together, I can do that 500, or I might do some 50s at a faster pace. Okay, so I'm trying to hit 30 seconds per 50, gives me a minute per 100. I'm going to do some 50 repeats going 27s, and some swimming above race pace that makes the race pace itself easier. And so I would manipulate that a little bit, even in the world of CrossFit. Kind of figure out what your aerobic pace is, what's something that's manageable for you in a longer swim in a CrossFit workout, and then play around with the distances. I'm going to swim longer at a little bit slower pace, and I'm going to swim shorter at higher intensity. And I would always recommend going shorter and faster, being the best way to go. Quick repeats, short breaks, best way to build up capacity in the world of swimming.
Okay, cool. All right, last question. Do you do CrossFit?
Yes.
Okay. So do you like CrossFit? What do you think about CrossFit?
Yeah.
You can be honest. If you hate it, just say it.
No. I'm a big advocate for CrossFit. I finished a 14-year competitive swim career and done nothing. I had a free membership to a gym for a year and worked out maybe twice. And
It's not frequent. Not frequency.
And I still ate like a swimmer, and swimmers eat like 6,000 calories a day. And needless to say, my body shape changed a lot, and I gained mass a considerable amount over that year period, and actually came to America on vacation, and probably one of the only people to come to America on vacation and lose weight. But I went to a CrossFit gym up in New Jersey with a friend at 5:30 in the morning. Thought it was the worst idea ever, and then I got into this gym, got my butt kicked by double unders, which I couldn't do. I just had done regular jump rope, deadlifts, and some ab mat sit-ups. And I mean, everybody in the gym, guys, girls, older people, would just destroy me. I finished this sweaty mess, and I was like, what is this? Like, I need some of this in my life. I need the competitive side. I need a boost, and I need some consistency of the world of CrossFit and the variation that comes with every workout being different and stuff like that. And I went back to Scotland, Googled, found out CrossFit MTS in Scotland, in Edinburgh. They were just down the street from me. Got registered, and I was going every day to the noon class and absolutely loved it. And then over the last few years since then, come to America. I work at Mossy Creek Fitness in Jefferson City, Tennessee, and again work at the noon class there. I've had some periods where I've left CrossFit because I've been busy and kind of not prioritised my fitness. Gained weight, felt terrible, and I always found my way back to CrossFit. I love it. I love the community. You're working out with your mates. They're pushing you. You're having a bit of banter all the time. The variation from day to day. And I think if you've got a good coach, CrossFit is the best kind of outlet for fitness that you can do. It encompasses everything. Obviously, I'm a passionate swimmer. CrossFit has swimming in it. And whatever you do in the gym, in your box, is meant to help your life, and so it makes you able to go run and go swim and play with your kids and do all that kind of stuff. And so I'm passionate about CrossFit. I love it. It's changed my life a number of times. And when I'm working with athletes, I always get asked, like, hey, would you encourage swimmers to do CrossFit and so on? And I think that CrossFit has its place for sure in the world of competitive swimming and other sports. And I think it just has to be done well, coached well, focused on technique. I mean, swimmer doing a million kipper pull-ups every day in the box is not going to help their shoulders when they're doing a million repetitions in the pool. But if it's just done well, it can be a great stimulus to help strength and fitness for a swimmer or any athlete really, and then they can transfer that into their sport. So yeah, work out every day, and I love CrossFit and follow Jacob and follow the games and all that kind of stuff. I think it's cool. It's something that when I was a teenager, I always kind of talked to my parents about, like, hey, I can swim, but I can do all these other things kind of pretty well, but not amazing at anything. I love a sport that kind of encompasses it all. And then a few years later,
10 years later,
yeah, and I was a little bit too old at that point, but if it'd been there when I was a teenager, I absolutely loved it. And I love being competitive and CrossFit every day. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
So, last piece of advice for someone swimming for CrossFit. What's your one piece of advice for someone who wants to get better, who's a CrossFitter, not like a professional swimmer?
Yeah.
A CrossFitter wanting to swim a little bit better. One piece of advice.
Like I said earlier, the main piece would be frequency. Try to get to the pool a little bit more often for shorter periods, and that will just allow you to become more competent in the water and less scared of it because you do it more frequently, and relax. Like, typically swimmers or non-swimmers are very tense in their shoulders. They're fighting the water. They're just trying to use their power. You can't fight the water. You can't power your way through it. You have to be at one with the water. Just kind of relax. Just let yourself float best you can. Float in the water, and then just start to kind of manipulate yourself through that liquid. But frequency is, I'd say, is the key to the quickest improvements.
Okay. And now, because you have a Scottish accent and because you like Braveheart,
Yeah.
can you give us your best Braveheart quote? What's your favorite Braveheart quote?
You put me on the spot.
I am putting you on the spot. And if it's terrible, I'm going to make fun of you because I'm going to be like, this guy's from Scotland.
Yeah. I mean, the standard one is freedom.
It's such an American.
Yeah, it wasn't even.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I used to be able to quote the whole
speech
when he's riding on his horse in front of the
that would be impressive.
Obviously back then I had more of a Scottish accent when I was living in Scotland, but yeah, freedom's the typical
your go-to one.
Yeah.
Wait, appreciate it, Jordan. Thanks again for coming and coaching me, watching me drown, and giving us some tips.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.